Given the Grey Knight's critical role within the Inquisition, potential recruits face trials far more demanding than those required by other Space Marine chapters. The task of finding these recruits falls to the chapter's gatherers, veteran Grey Knights whose age or injuries prevent them from continuing frontline duties, yet whose keen minds remain sharp enough to discern the hidden potential of aspiring heroes. These seasoned warriors scour the galaxy, searching for candidates among the common masses of humanity. Their ability to peer into the hearts and minds of these individuals allows them to root out weakness, ensuring only the strongest and most virtuous are selected. No source of manpower is denied to the Grey Knights. Seed worlds of Space Marine chapters, harsh penal worlds, and even the Black Ships are all within their reach. The chosen few are brought to Titan, where they are subjected to an unforgiving series of tests, beginning in the Chamber of Trials. These aspirants are pushed to the brink, their minds and bodies tormented to reveal any fractures in their resolve before they are ever exposed to the horrors of the warp. Upon arrival at Titan, the recruits are herded into antiquated shuttles, shivering as they descend to the planet's surface. While some are taken directly to the citadel of Titan, many are abandoned on the desolate plains, forced to make the arduous trek to the fortress gates. Despite Titan being terraformed long ago, its atmosphere remains inhospitable and freezing. This trek is not merely a test of endurance, but one of conviction. Those who turn away from the distant black towers, choosing the wilderness over discipline, are executed without hesitation. Those who reach the gates are granted little respite. They are immediately sent on another journey, a grueling 1,000-kilometer trek across the caustic crystalline wasteland known as the Xanadu region. The air in Xanadu is thick with noxious vapors that erode the recruits' sense of reality, filling their minds with alien visions and nightmares. Reaching this accursed land requires surviving a series of perilous zones. The treacherous Anak High Pass, where a whisper can trigger avalanches of choking chemical dust. The rusting desert, filled with the wreckage of ancient void ships and roving packs of deranged servitors. And the Saturnine Maze, a relic of the Emperor's conquest of Titan, teeming with hidden horrors and the spirits of long-dead warriors. As recruits traverse these lethal landscapes, they must also maintain control over their developing psychic abilities. To prevent uncontrolled outbursts, an inhibitor collar is placed around their necks, programmed to explode if they lose control of their psychic powers. This task becomes even more harrowing upon entering Xanadu, where the very air distorts reality. The desolate landscape is littered with the skeletons of those who failed, thousands of headless remains serving as a grim reminder of the peril that awaits. Fewer than 1 in 1,000 recruits return from Xanadu, and for those who survive, weeks of excruciating trials still lie ahead. From the glyphite-stalked caverns beneath Ganesa Macula to the icy subsurface oceans of Ios Antor, each test pushes recruits to their limits both physically and mentally. Only the rare few who survive these brutal ordeals are inducted into the chapter as neophytes. Their real training only begins once they pass the 666 rituals of detestation, a grueling series of challenges designed to prove their ability to withstand the nightmares of the warp, trials that would break even veteran Space Marines. Those who succeed undergo the most advanced bioengineering and psychosurgery, and their past lives are erased through a complete mind wipe, ensuring absolute loyalty to the Emperor and preventing demons from exploiting their memories or emotions. Unlike other Space Marine chapters, the Grey Knights recruit only those with great psychic potential. During their transformation into Astartes, they are also implanted with silver hexagrammic and pentagrammic purity wards beneath their skin, forming a protective barrier against demonic corruption. From the moment a neophyte dons his suit of power armor, he is thrust into battle. There is no apprenticeship as a scout marine. Grey Knight initiates are immediately pressed into service, moving through the ranks as they prove their worth. Their elite training surpasses that of any other Space Marine chapter, making them the most potent warriors of the Imperium and the Emperor's greatest weapon against the forces of chaos. The creation of a Grey Knight is an immense undertaking, far more expensive and demanding than the production of a standard Astartes. It is said that only 1 in every 1,000,000 aspirants ascends to the rank of full battle brother. One significant measure of a Grey Knight's transformation is the stripping of his birth name. This not only severs ties to his past life, but also signifies his rebirth into the service of the Inquisition. The chapter bestows new names upon its recruits, drawn from the arcane lore of the Sanctum Sanctorum. Each name is meticulously chosen, crafted as a weapon in opposition to the true name of a specific demon. Much like demons' true names hold power over them, so too do the true names of mortals resonate within the warp. A Grey Knight's original name is erased, along with all memories of his previous existence. Once his training is complete, the recruit is given a new name, though he is unlikely to recall his past identity. During their trials, recruits are known only by a number. Those who fall are buried in unmarked graves, if they are buried at all. Only upon completing his training is a Grey Knight granted his new name, a fragment of sacred lore designed to act as a counterforce to a particular demon's name. These names are not static. Over the millennia, certain names have reappeared, gaining power with each incarnation. It is considered a great honor, and a sign of future greatness to be given a name matching one of Saturn's moons, though such names are exceedingly rare. The true identities of the Grey Knights after their rebirth are sealed within the Inquisition's most secure records, and even the vast Librarius of Titan holds no trace of their former lives. This information is rarely accessed and often archived into obscurity. Even within the Inquisition, few seek such knowledge, as it holds little practical value. The Grey Knights themselves are trained to forsake all curiosity about their past, and Inquisitors gain no special power over them by uncovering it. Unlike most other Space Marine chapters, the Grey Knights do not adhere to the organizational principles set forth in the Codex Astartes. Much like the Space Wolves and Black Templars, the hierarchy of the Grey Knights is distinct and shaped by their unique purpose. Owing to the special nature of their recruitment and training, each Grey Knight advances through a series of preordained ranks, serving in a particular squad under a higher-ranking officer rather than being assigned to a traditional battle company. Consequently, the squad leader of any Grey Knight unit is obeyed without question, and their command is absolute. One of the most significant differences in the Grey Knight structure is the absence of a singular chapter master. Instead, they are governed collectively by the chapter council. While many of the ranks within the chapter resemble those of Codex-compliant Space Marines, there are several unique specialist positions that exist only within the Grey Knights. The highest rank within the chapter, the Supreme Grand Master, is equivalent to the Chapter Master of other Space Marine chapters. Also known as the Chapter Lord, this individual holds absolute authority over the entire chapter. However, to ensure that only the most suitable candidate ascends to this revered position, a Grey Knight can only be appointed Supreme Grand Master with the unanimous consent of all Grand Masters on the Chapter Council. This ensures that the chapter remains in the hands of a capable and incorruptible leader. Second only to the Supreme Grand Master, a Grey Knight's Grand Master is a member of the inner conclave of the Inquisition and holds a seat on the Chapter Council. Traditionally, there are 8 Grand Masters, each regarded as the spiritual successor of the 8 founding Astartes from the Horus heresy, known in the chapter's lore as the Titans. These ancient warriors are master demon slayers, clad in Terminator armor and wielding Nemesis Force weapons, while also possessing formidable psychic abilities. Very few demons can stand against the might of a Grand Master and survive. Grand Masters are typically millennia-old Space Marines, their wisdom and experience unmatched in the galaxy. Their deaths are deeply mourned by both the Grey Knights and the Ordo Malleus, though the wider Imperium will never know their names. A brother captain of the Grey Knights is among the chapter's most elite warriors, second only to the Grand Masters. Commanding one of the Brotherhoods, they hold a rank equivalent to that of a standard Space Marine captain in Codex-compliant chapters. A brother captain has complete control over the strategy and operations of his Brotherhood, answering only to the Chapter Council. Their burden of command is immense, as they wield the power of an entire Brotherhood in battle, but their souls are hardened against the temptations of the demons they face. A Grey Knight Terminator is an elite warrior among an already elite chapter, forming the core of the Grey Knight's most formidable fighting forces. Clad in tactical dreadnought armor, they face the horrors of the warp in battle, always outnumbered but never outmatched. Unlike standard Space Marines, Grey Knight Terminators actively use their psychic abilities in combat, combining superior armor with psychic prowess. Their armory includes Nemesis Force weapons, such as demon hammers or falcons, and they also wield incinerators and psi cannons, making them deadly in both close quarters and ranged combat. Each Terminator selects their weaponry based on personal skill and preference, and as a result, no two squads are ever equipped exactly the same. The Justicar is the officer responsible for leading Grey Knights recruits. Though their recruits may have been fighting for up to a century, holding the rank of Justicar is the first step toward becoming a Grand Master. Justicars also command Terminator squads, though such leaders are often referred to as brother captains in those cases. A Justicar's role is similar to that of a sergeant in a Codex-compliant chapter, but with the added responsibility of honing the psychic abilities and combat skills of his charges. The standard Grey Knight Battle Brother is equipped with Aegis armor, a storm bolter of exquisite craftsmanship, and a Nemesis Force weapon attuned to his unique psychic signature. Each Grey Knight's weapon is a personal extension of his will, coming in various forms such as halberds, swords, axes, and hammers. Newly inducted Battle Brothers serve under a Justicar, gradually developing their psychic, combat, and leadership abilities. As they grow in skill, they may be assigned to strike squads, interceptor squads, purgation squads, or, if they show exceptional leadership qualities, they may rise to the rank of Justicar. In every facet of their hierarchy, the Grey Knights are designed to embody the Emperor's will and serve as the ultimate weapon against chaos. The chapter's unique structure, governed by a council and composed of Psyker warriors with unmatched skill, ensures that they are always prepared to face the greatest threats the galaxy has ever known. To the righteous we bring hope, to the tainted we bring fire. Castellan Garin Crow. Most operations involving the Grey Knights typically see a single squad supporting an Ordo Malleus Inquisitor, or working alongside local planetary law enforcement, military forces, or the Astra Militarum. However, when a significant demonic incursion arises, the response escalates. In such dire situations, multiple squads, usually numbering around 20 Astartes, are gathered under the command of a senior captain or even a Grand Master. In these engagements, tactical squads are deployed first, tasked with securing a foothold in the chaos-tainted region. Once the beachhead is established, the Terminators and senior Astartes teleport onto the battlefield to confront the primary demonic threat, banishing it back to the Immaterium. The very presence of the Grey Knights on the battlefield is anathema to demons and other entities of the warp. The collective psychic purity of a Grey Knight squad, channeled through the squad's Justicar, forms the Aegis, a psychic choir of sorts whose harmonized energies become even more powerful as additional squads sing in unison. Although these chants of detestation are inaudible to human ears, they act as a potent weapon, making it difficult for demonic entities to maintain their foothold in the physical universe. The effectiveness of the Aegis is further amplified by the presence of telekinesis within the Grey Knights' ranks. These powerful psychers raise psychic shields to protect their battle brothers, allowing them to advance on their enemies with near impunity, making the Grey Knights even more formidable in battle. Despite these significant advantages against chaos, the creation of a single Grey Knight is an immensely costly endeavor for the Imperium. As a result, the chapter is always greatly outnumbered by their foes, forcing them to rely on swift, decisive strikes and the rapid application of overwhelming force. One consequence of the Aegis is the lack of any war cry for the chapter. Grey Knights engage their enemies in eerie silence, executing their missions with a remarkable efficiency of movement and communication. Another distinct feature of the Grey Knights is their frequent use of teleportation. A high proportion of their forces possess the ability to warp directly into battle, a risky but game-changing tactic when used effectively. However, teleportation is a complex maneuver, often requiring precise coordination and positioning. In larger engagements, multiple squads may teleport in perfect synchronization, a feat that can decisively alter the course of the battle. The demon has many forms. You must know them all. You must tell the demon from his disguise and root him out from the hidden places. Trust no one. Trust not even yourself. It is better to die in vain than to live in abomination. The zealous martyr is praised for his valor. The craven and the unready are justly abhorred. Excerpted from the first book of Indoctrinations. The Grey Knights are anathema to demons, their mere presence a searing torment to the twisted creatures of the warp. No other warriors in the Emperor's service are as adept in the art of demon slaying, and every battle brother is a master of the many intricate methods used to banish and destroy these ephemeral yet deadly foes. The ways to banish a demon are as numerous and varied as the demons themselves, and the Grey Knights possess an arsenal of techniques for confronting the denizens of the warp. Yet not every method works on every demon, and even the same creature may require a different approach upon its return. Thus, the chapter is constantly evolving its strategies to meet the ever-changing threats of chaos, a war of escalation that has raged since the chapter's inception and long before, when the Emperor first sought to unravel the mysteries of the warp. For every weapon and tactic the Grey Knights employ, the demons counter with their own sorcery and trickery. Among the Grey Knights' most potent weapons is the knowledge of a demon's true name. A true name holds immense power over a demon, which is why these creatures conceal their names behind pseudonyms and titles, using them only in their most secretive dealings. When wielded by a psyker or sorcerer, a true name can bind or banish a demon regardless of its strength. However, invoking such power is a delicate process requiring long hours, sometimes days of incantation, with every syllable and gesture carefully measured. Failure to do so risks corruption by the very magics being employed. For a Grey Knight, however, a true name is as reliable and immediate a weapon as the Stormbolter mounted on his gauntlet. Even the most junior Grey Knight with practice can invoke a demon's true name to disorient and weaken it, leaving the creature vulnerable to a finishing blow from a nemesis force weapon or a precise bolt round. In the hands of a seasoned Grey Knight, the invocation of a true name becomes even more devastating, capable of destroying the demon's physical form and casting its essence back into the warp, leaving only the foul stench of sulfur and ectoplasm in its wake. To banish a demon in such a way is the closest thing the Grey Knights have to a lasting victory, for a demon slain bodily may return far sooner than one banished both body and soul. Yet, while true names are the most reliable tool in a Grey Knight's arsenal, they are also the hardest to obtain. As with all things demonic, a true name is born of the ever-shifting warp, its nature as fluid and mutable as the creature it defines. In the shadowy chambers of the Grey Knight's augurium, a legion of black-robed scribes toils ceaselessly, poring over the visions shared by the chapter's prognosticators, seeking elusive clues to these ever-changing names. It is a perilous task, for no single scribe can ever be entrusted with more than a fragment of a true name, lest the knowledge corrupt him and threaten the very chapter he serves. Each scrap of information is carefully inscribed onto a blessed scroll using the scribe's own blood, as ordinary ink is powerless to contain such arcane knowledge. These fragments are then handed over to the chapter's senior librarians, who carefully collate and interpret them, binding them into the sacred grimoires stored in the citadel of Titan's Sanctum Sanctorum. Demons, composed of raw chaos energy, are beings of pure nightmare, embodying rage, fear, and the darkest impulses of mankind. To confront such foes, strength of will and faith are as vital as blades and bolt rounds. Grey Knights memorize these words of power, chanting them during battle to weaken and destroy their enemies, whether they are hammering shots from a Stormbolter or cleaving demonic flesh with a nemesis force weapon. These invocations form the heart of the Grey Knights' most intricate rituals, woven into their prayers and exorcisms to amplify their potency. There are 666 known words of banishment, each a closely guarded secret of the chapter and learned at great cost. The mere sight of one of these words is enough to shatter the minds of ordinary mortals, their perfect symmetry and horrifying power too much for any but the strongest wills to withstand. Even Grey Knights must fortify their spirits before learning the most basic of these words. To date, only one Grey Knight, the first Supreme Grand Master Janus, has ever mastered all 666 words of banishment, a monumental burden that even the greatest of battle brothers struggle to bear. Like the warp itself, the words of banishment are in constant flux, ever-changing in their meaning and power. The librarians and prognosticators of the Grey Knights must remain ever vigilant, attuned to subtle variations within the words, lest an invocation once powerful be rendered impotent by the demon's own transformations. The demonic, and even the dark gods themselves, are constantly shifting, as is the nature of the immaterium, meaning that words which once held dominion over these entities may lose their potency entirely. For every demon that unravels the power of a banishment word, another forges new ones in the capricious nature of chaos. Thus, the endless war between the Grey Knights and the forces of the warp continues, a battle of will, magic, and ever-changing realities. Not all the weapons employed by the Grey Knights in their battle against demons are of human origin. Over millennia of relentless warfare, the chapter has scoured the galaxy for any secrets that might aid in their eternal struggle against the dark gods. Many of these discoveries stem from the ruins of ancient xeno-civilizations or alien technologies. Humanity is not the only race to have faced the horrors of demonkind. Countless other species and empires have been erased from history by demonic incursions long before humanity ventured into the stars. In the forsaken remnants of alien cities or the windswept wastelands of remote worlds, the Ordo Malleus has uncovered a trove of artifacts now safeguarded in the vaults of Titan. The Inquisition has, on occasion, forged uneasy alliances with living xeno-species, exchanging technology and expertise in return for their knowledge of the warp. One such alliance was made with the Necrons, yielding a powerful and heretical tool, the Tesseract Labyrinths. These enigmatic devices, crafted with alien precision, are roughly the size of a space marine's fist, their surfaces etched with intricate geometric patterns. The Tesseract Labyrinths possess the extraordinary ability to trap warp entities within a zero-point energy field. Once a demon is ensnared, its own essence fuels the prison, each attempt to escape only tightening its bonds. Yet, luring a demon into one of these devices is a perilous challenge, as many warp creatures would rather abandon their corporeal forms and retreat into the immaterium than be trapped by such alien sorcery. Today, only a small number of inhabited tesseracts are held in Titan's vaults, each one the result of a monumental campaign in which the Grey Knights prevailed over a formidable demonic foe. For nearly 10,000 standard years, Titan has been the secret fortress of the Grey Knights, hidden in the shadow of Saturn. This frozen moon, glittering beneath Saturn's rings, bristles with defensive platforms and sleek warships, ever ready to defend the Imperium. Beneath its icy surface, generations of Grey Knights are forged, and when their time comes, laid to rest, in an unceasing cycle of birth, battle, and death. Towering above all is Mount Anak, the tallest peak of Titan, upon whose flanks rise the imposing black basalt spires of the Citadel of Titan, the chapter's fortress monastery. Constructed by the Emperor himself over 10,000 years ago, the Citadel of Titan has withstood the ravages of time, enduring countless wars. Shadowed and ancient, its walls bristle with macro cannons and lance turrets, their barrels forever trained on the darkness beyond. The Citadel is an uninviting fortress, its existence a closely guarded secret. The bustling space lanes of the Sol system steer well clear of Saturn's moon, for it is well known that approaching too close could be a fatal mistake. Within the cold, echoing halls of the Citadel, servitors and chapter serfs toil endlessly to keep the fortress running, while towering Grey Knights move with purpose through the corridors, their presence charged with barely contained power. This vast citadel serves as a sanctuary for the Grey Knights to rest, meditate, and train between their relentless campaigns against chaos. The citadel is also home to the Librarium Daemonica, the Imperium's foremost repository of knowledge on demons, demonology, sorcery, and the ruinous powers of chaos. Though designed to accommodate over 1,000 space marines and all their war machines, the fortress often feels empty as the chapter's warriors are scattered across the galaxy, responding to the threat of chaos wherever it emerges. As an elite chapter focused on combating demonic infestations, the Grey Knights have access to highly specialized equipment that is unavailable to other Space Marine chapters. Ancient pacts with the Adeptus Mechanicus ensure that the Grey Knights are armed with the most advanced weaponry in the Imperium. In addition, the chapter's alliances with certain xeno-species dedicated to fighting chaos have provided access to alien technology. Among the potent and arcane tools the Grey Knights wield is the Psi Cannon, a heavy weapon that fires ritually inscribed silver bolts, sanctified to inflict devastating damage upon demons, far beyond what a standard bolter can achieve. Another powerful weapon in the chapter's arsenal is the Incinerator, a flame weapon that uses promethium mixed with sacred oils, ritually blessed to enhance its destructive effect on demonic entities. Though Grey Knights may occasionally use standard Space Marine equipment, such instances are rare. Additionally, both Ordo Malleus Inquisitors and the chapter's heroes are equipped with powerful war gear specifically designed to weaken demonic foes. This equipment ranges from basic storm bolters to the powerful Psi Cannon, as well as relics like the Grimoire of True Names and the legendary Demon Hammer. Lastly, all Grey Knights communicate using Trecenti code, an encrypted language known only to themselves. This code is often used in battle cant, allowing them to coordinate their movements and tactics with unparalleled precision. Through their mastery of both Imperial and alien technology, the Grey Knights stand as humanity's ultimate weapon against the horrors of the warp, ever vigilant and ready to confront the endless tide of chaos. The most iconic and feared weapon of the Grey Knights is the Nemesis Force weapon, particularly the Nemesis Force sword and its many variations. These weapons, intricately attuned to the wielder's psychic mind, are uniquely suited to combating demons and the vile entities of the warp. Nemesis Force weapons are sanctified close combat arms, often taking the form of swords, halberds or spears. However, more uncommon variants such as the Nemesis Warhammer or Nemesis Mace also exist, with the design tailored to any type of human melee weapon. Each Nemesis weapon is meticulously consecrated, anointed with sacred oils, and psychically imbued with inscribed verses from the Imperial Creed, rendering them anathema to demons. In the early days of the chapter, some Nemesis Force weapons even had storm bolters integrated into their shafts, though more recent designs have separated the ranged weapon from the melee component. According to legend, the secret knowledge required to forge Nemesis Force weapons was first developed by the Emperor himself, long before the Unification Wars. This ancient wisdom was gifted to the Grey Knights at the time of their founding, making these weapons not only potent but also sacred relics of the chapter. As with all Force weapons, their power correlates directly with the psychic strength of the wielder. Given that the Grey Knights are among the most powerful psykers in the galaxy, their Nemesis Force weapons become devastating tools in their hands. Every member of the chapter wields these weapons, and each Grey Knight, by virtue of his prowess, is a hero in his own right. However, younger recruits who have yet to fully master their psychic abilities are equipped with weapons that are comparatively less potent than those wielded by their more experienced counterparts. As the Battle Brother rises through the ranks and hones his psychic power, the strength of his weapon grows alongside him, in essence evolving with the warrior's progression. In the hands of a Grand Master, these weapons reach their full potential, becoming among the most formidable in the galaxy. A single strike from a Grand Master's Nemesis weapon is said to be capable of felling a demon prince or even a Carnifex with ease. Nemesis Force halberds. As ancient in purpose as the chapter itself, these finely crafted polearms feature long, curved blades attached to sturdy hafts. Though wielded with ease in one hand for swift, deadly strikes, their power increases when gripped in both hands, making them even deadlier in battle. Nemesis Demon Hammers. A devastating fusion of the Demon Hammer and Nemesis Force weapon, this colossal weapon is often wielded by high-ranking Inquisitors of the Ordo Malleus, as well as Grey Knights. Its crushing power is coupled with the arcane energy of the Nemesis weapons, making it a fearsome tool for destroying all things demonic. Nemesis Doomfist, a variant of the massive power fist used by dreadnoughts, The Nemesis Doomfist is a colossal gauntlet capable of pulverizing foes with a single grip. These fearsome weapons are only found as part of the Dreadnought battlesuit, augmenting its already immense power. Nemesis Falchions. Always wielded in pairs, these lightweight weapons allow for swift, precise strikes. With monofilament circuitry running through their edges, the speed and fluidity with which they can be brought to bear make them highly effective in close combat. Thanks to their wrist-mounted storm bolters, Grey Knights can carry and fire while maintaining the full use of both falchions. Nemesis Force Swords, a lighter, more agile version of the Nemesis Force Halberd, the Nemesis Force Sword is a versatile and elegant weapon. Crafted using a blend of arcane rites and advanced scientific processes, these swords are reinforced by a psychic power field that grows in strength with the wielder's psychic potential. Their perfect balance and indestructible construction make them ideal for parrying the blows of even the most fearsome demonic enemies. Greatsword, exclusively wielded by the Dreadnought, this immense blade is forged from silver and iron, so large that even an Adeptus Astartes in power armor would struggle to lift it. Despite its size, the greatsword is perfectly balanced in the hands of the Dreadnought and can cut down even the most formidable demons. Nemesis Warding Staves. Of all the weapons forged in the deep foundries beneath the citadel of Titan, few are as complex or as revered as the Nemesis Warding Stave. Each stave houses a psychic power matrix within its core, dormant until activated by its wielder's psychic command. While its basic functions resemble those of other Nemesis weapons, its headpiece is what sets it apart. Crafted from materials of the highest purity, some staves are adorned with the skulls of imperial saints or sanctioned psychers of great renown, while others may bear the skull of a fallen Grey Knight's Justicar or chapter hero, encircled in consecrated gold. These relics, veined with mercury-threaded monofilament circuitry, are built to last for centuries, preserving the legacy of the hero it honors. In all its forms, the Nemesis Force weapon stands as a symbol of the Grey Knight's unmatched psychic mastery and dedication to the Emperor. Each weapon, whether a simple sword or a towering greatsword, is an extension of the Grey Knight's will, a tool perfectly attuned to his mind and designed to smite the Emperor's most terrifying enemies. With every swing, cut or thrust, these weapons sever the bonds of the warp, ensuring that the forces of chaos know fear in the face of their indomitable might. The power armor worn by the Grey Knights, particularly their distinctive Aegis armor and Aegis Terminator armor, stands as a symbol of protection and craftsmanship, unmatched in its ability to shield its wearer from the horrors of the warp. These suits are not merely armor but sacred relics, painstakingly crafted and consecrated with prayers, inscribed wards, and psychic energies. Working in perfect harmony with the psychic abilities of the Grey Knights, the Aegis armor enhances the wearer's resistance to the psychic attacks of demons and the Immaterium. The armor's warding systems, infused with the wearer's own psychic power, form an active defense that helps repel the malicious forces of the warp. Additionally, these psychic resonances create an effect known as the shrouding, which confounds the enemy's perception, making it difficult for demonic entities to detect or strike accurately. Beyond its psychic protections, the Aegis armor is equipped with formidable weaponry. Each suit incorporates a wrist-mounted storm bolter, a larger and more robust version of the standard Astartes storm bolter. This weapon, frequently loaded with Cybolt ammunition, is psychically attuned, making it lethal in both ranged and close-quarters combat when wielded alongside the Grey Knight's Nemesis Force weapons. When a Grey Knight is mortally wounded, beyond the saving grace of even the most skilled apothecaries, he may be interred within the armoured sarcophagus of a dreadnought. However, unlike other Space Marine chapters, Grey Knights do not consider this fate an honour. Every Grey Knight aspires to rest eternally in the dead fields of Titan alongside the chapter's greatest heroes, rather than continue fighting within a machine. Consequently, Grey Knight dreadnoughts are exceedingly rare. What makes a Grey Knight dreadnought truly formidable is not its reinforced armor or even its Aegis warding, but the warrior encased within. Only the mightiest of the fallen are granted the honor of dreadnought interment. their combat expertise transcending the limitations of flesh to guide a mechanical form that is both tireless and invincible. With centuries of experience, a dreadnought often assumes a leadership role on the battlefield, sometimes acting as a secondary commander, allowing a brother captain to focus his efforts elsewhere. Many dreadnought pilots were once brother captains or even grand masters before their internment, and they eagerly embraced the chance to apply their strategic insight to new campaigns. To fight alongside such a warrior is to walk with a living legend, and in their presence even the most junior battle brother is emboldened. Thanks to their access to the Imperium's most advanced technology, the Grey Knights are able to deploy the extremely rare Mark VI Mars pattern or Aegis dreadnoughts exclusive to their chapter. However, the most powerful of the Grey Knights' war machines is the Nemesis Dreadknight. Unlike traditional dreadnoughts, Dreadknights are not cybernetic shells for mortally wounded Astartes, but advanced exoskeletons designed to amplify the physical might and firepower of any Grey Knight who dons them. These mighty exosuits were specifically created to allow a single Grey Knight to engage in direct combat with greater demons and demon princes, entities far more physically powerful than even the most ancient space marines. In appearance, the Dreadknight differs greatly from standard dreadnoughts. It is taller, bulkier, and humanoid in shape, resembling a massive exoskeleton rather than a traditional walker. While dreadnoughts often sacrifice one of their arms for weaponry, Dreadknights are equipped with two large power fist-like appendages capable of wielding heavy weapons such as heavy bolters. These appendages also allow the Dreadknight to carry massive melee weapons like Nemesis warhammers or power swords, enabling it to fight with the fluidity and agility of a living warrior. Though the Dreadknight's pilot remains visible at the top of the exoskeleton, the design allows him to freely enter and exit the war machine, unlike the fully integrated Astartes in a traditional dreadnought, who are permanently hardwired into their mechanical bodies. Despite this apparent vulnerability, the Dreadknight compensates with unparalleled flexibility, strength, and agility, making it highly effective in close combat against the mightiest foes. With the combination of advanced technology, psychic protection, and the indomitable will of its pilot, the Dreadknight stands as one of the Grey Knight's most potent weapons, capable of turning the tide of battle against even the most powerful demonic entities. A Grey Knight's greatest weapon against the warp is not his blade or bolter, but his mind, and the will to bend reality and rend his foes with but a thought. Brother Librarian Clavanus. The Grey Knights possess abilities far beyond those of standard space marines, powers that are deeply psychic in nature and function on a Gestalt principle, similar to that of the Orcs, where the combined presence of multiple Grey Knights amplifies the potency of their psychic abilities. The more battle brothers gathered in a single location, the more their psychic might is magnified, allowing them to manifest their powers with far greater force. In addition to their psychic prowess, the Grey Knights are renowned for their skill in close combat. Their mastery of melee is such that many Grey Knights can overcome seemingly insurmountable odds, defeating even the deadliest foes in hand-to-hand combat. Unlike Space Marine librarians or other psychers who must be wary of the taint of the warp, Grey Knights are unique in that their powers are considered entirely free of corruption. As a result, they are the only psychers permitted to serve within even the most anti-psycher forces of the Imperium, such as the Black Templars' Chapter Crusade armies. Every Grey Knight possesses a degree of psychic ability, their natural gifts honed through years of rigorous training on Titan. While only a select few reach the formidable levels of power commanded by the chapter's librarians, all Grey Knights are capable of wielding psychic abilities, especially when fighting alongside their brethren. In unison, their collective psychic talents can generate devastating effects, whether to shield their allies or unleash potent attacks upon their enemies. Those Grey Knights who exhibit particularly exceptional strength of mind and psychic aptitude are elevated to the ranks of the chapter's librarians, where their powers reach their full potential. Each Grey Knight is taught to focus his mental energies into protective wards and an array of battle spells. The mightiest among them can banish demons with a mere touch, conjure psychic defenses to safeguard their comrades, and channel the raw power of the warp to devastate their enemies. The psychic arsenal of the Grey Knights has been forged over millennia of battle against the most nightmarish creatures in the galaxy. While these abilities are most commonly wielded by the chapter's librarians, it is not unheard of for an Ordo Malleus Inquisitor or even an Astra Militarum Primaris Psyker to master one of these rare disciplines. The psychic powers of the Demon Hunter are anything but subtle. They are weapons of pure destruction, crafted specifically to combat the most fearsome enemies of the Emperor of mankind. Supreme Grand Master Kaldor Drago, during the demonic incursion on Acrelem in the year 799 of the 41st millennium, then Battle Brother Kaldor Drago faced Makar the Reborn and his infernal legions. In a daring assault on the Demon Prince's stronghold, Drago struck the fatal blow, banishing Makar and his forces back into the warp. However, the Demon Prince, clinging to life in his final moments, cursed Drago with his dying breath. Drago was promoted to Justicar for his heroism on Acrelem. Over the next 2 centuries, he served with unparalleled distinction, earning countless accolades. His achievements rivaled only by Janus, the first Supreme Grand Master of the Grey Knights. Exactly 2 centuries after his initial victory, the Grey Knights received a message that Acrelem had once again fallen to Makar. By this time, Drago had risen to the rank of Supreme Grand Master. Refusing to involve his chapter, Drago undertook the mission alone, determined to confront the Demon Prince once more. On the summit of Shadow Peak, Drago and Makar clashed, the warp rift behind them swirling with dark energy. With the broken blade of his nemesis force weapon, Drago struck Makar down once more. Yet as victory seemed within reach, Makar cast Drago into the collapsing warp rift, condemning him to wander the realm of chaos. Since then, Drago has been trapped within the warp, forced to fight an eternal battle against the forces of chaos. When demonic incursions arise in the material realm, Drago is temporarily drawn back to fight alongside his chapter, only to be pulled once more into the hellish depths of the warp. Despite this cursed existence, Drago's unyielding fortitude has kept him fighting, with the hope that one day he might overcome his eternal prison and reunite with the Grey Knights. There are heroes of great renown amongst the Grey Knights which are known far and wide in the Imperium despite the secrecy that surrounds the chapter. Supreme Grand Master Geroniton, Drago's predecessor as Supreme Grand Master, met his end at the hands of the demon Primarch Mortarion during the Battle of Cornovin in the year 901. On that battlefield, Drago was elevated to the rank of Supreme Grand Master and vowed revenge upon Mortarion. Alone, Drago charged through Mortarion's bodyguard of Plague Marines, struck the Primarch down, and carved Geroniton's name into Mortarion's corrupted heart. Although Mortarion ultimately escaped, it was many long years before he could return to the material realm, a humiliation that Mortarion vowed to one day avenge. Supreme Grand Master Aureus. In the 39th millennium, Aureus fell in battle against the Demon Prince and Plague Lord Herperitus. For mortally wounded Grey Knights, the choice to be interred in a dreadnought is personal, and many prefer to rest in the crypts of the dead fields on Titan. According to legend, as Aureus lay dying in the Apothecarion, his body broken beyond repair, all 10 brother captains gathered at his side awaiting his final words. For 3 solar days and nights, Aureus remained motionless, his strength fading. Just as they believed him dead, he gave a single nod, an act the brother captains interpreted as his consent to continue serving as a dreadnought. His sarcophagus was immediately prepared, and the ritual of interment began. Supreme Grand Master Janus, one of the 8 Space Marines personally chosen by Malcador and approved by the Emperor, Janus was destined to lay the foundation of both the Inquisition and the Grey Knights. After a private audience with the Emperor during the final days of the Horus Heresy, Malcador led the 8 Marines to Titan, where they began building the Grey Knights chapter. Before departing for Terra, Malcador appointed Janus as the first Supreme Grand Master, tasking him with guiding the fledgling chapter through its early trials. The legends surrounding Janus are as numerous as the stars, recounting the champions he defeated, the wars he won, and the demons he banished. Yet the passage of time has distorted these tales, and even the meticulous records of the Grey Knights are not immune to human error. Many of these records have been sealed by the Inquisition and the Ordo Malleus. It is now widely believed that Janus was once Reviul Arvida, a sergeant of the Loyalist Thousand Sons who merged with a fragment of Magnus the Red Soul during the Horus heresy. Grandmaster Epimetheus, one of the original Titans, Epimetheus stood before the Emperor alongside the other 7 recruits chosen by Malcador just before the Siege of Terra. Epimetheus, originally a member of the Dark Angels Legion, served under the arch-heretic Luther on Caliban. Upon assuming the mantle of Epimetheus, he declared he had never had a true name. His progenoid glands were removed and sealed beneath Titan alongside the gene seed of all the recruits, replaced by the gene seed designed for the Grey Knights. When Titan was hidden in the warp during the final days of the Horus heresy, Epimetheus was still relatively young and inexperienced. However, upon Titan's return to real space, though only a decade had passed, centuries had elapsed for the warriors of Titan. Epimetheus and his fellow Titans had grown older than even the most ancient veterans of the Space Marine legions. During the Great Scouring, Epimetheus commanded the 5th Brotherhood of the Grey Knights. One of his most notable missions was the war to close the Damnation Cache, a warp rift that had fueled the traitor legions during the Horus heresy. Of the 300 Grey Knights who set out to cleanse the planet of Pythos, only 20 survived. Unable to permanently seal the rift, 7 seals were hidden across the planet, each requiring a specific order to be undone. Epimetheus volunteered to guard the 7th seal, entering suspended animation to protect it for millennia. 10,000 years later, during Abaddon the Despoiler's attempt to reopen the cache, Epimetheus was awakened and fought alongside a junior inquisitor of the Ordo Malleus. However, he refused to take orders from her, as the Inquisition had not yet held authority over the Grey Knights in his time. After a long campaign, Epimetheus was eventually captured by Abaddon, who sought to experiment on the unique gene seed of this ancient hero and uncover the whereabouts of the other still living original Grand Masters. Brother Captain Taramar Aurelian, known as Taramar the Gold. For his seemingly endless list of noble deeds, Brother Captain Taramar Aurelian of the 3rd Brotherhood was the Warden of the 3rd Brotherhood and Master of the flagship. He was selected to lead the improvised force known as the Ragged Brotherhood against the demon Primarch Angron of the World Eaters, who, in the year 444 of the 41st millennium, besieged Armageddon with his traitor legion and the forces of chaos. As Grandmaster Varmund, Lord of the 3rd Brotherhood, remained at the Fortress Monastery on Titan, Aurelian represented him during the First War for Armageddon. The force consisted of 109 Grey Knights, with only 18 remaining on Titan as the rest of the chapter fought elsewhere. The Grey Knights teleported into the thick of the Chaos Horde, encircling the immense demon Primarch. They also faced the Cruor Praetoria, the 12 strongest demons of Khorne, chosen by the Blood God himself. Despite sustaining heavy casualties from Angron's corrupted weapon, the Black Blade, the Grey Knights fought valiantly. Brother Hyperion of Squad Castian, the last standing after Angron's onslaught, displayed immense psychic power and shattered Angron's blade before collapsing unconscious. Brother Captain Aurelian, bold and determined, confronted the now bladeless demon prince and successfully banished him back to the warp for 100 Terran years, though at the ultimate cost of his own life. Justicar Alaric led his strike force in a relentless pursuit of the demon prince of Tzeentch Gargatuloth, known as the Prince of 1,000 Faces. His quest revealed hidden chaos cults spread across the Trail of St. Evisa, a path of imperial worlds at the Segmentum Solar's western edge. After Inquisitor Ligeia, his ally, succumbed to the demon's corrupting influence and was executed at the inquisitorial prison on Mimas, Alaric was left to decipher the mysteries of the trail alone. His journey led him to Vulcanis Ultor, where, after a brief clash with the Sisters of Battle of the Order of the Bloody Rose, Alaric confronted the corrupted remains of St. Evisa. With the help of Justica Tancred, the saint was destroyed, and Gargatuloth was forced into real space, where Alaric, using the demon's true name, banished him back to the warp for 1,000 Terran years. Alaric's sharp mind, creativity, and strategic insight, qualities often dulled in most Grey Knights, set him apart, enabling him to survive on the demon world of Draka after being stripped of his armor. However, these traits, sometimes viewed as dangerous within the chapter, may prevent him from rising to the rank of captain. Yet Inquisitor Nixos has expressed interest in harnessing Alaric's talents for the Inquisition in the future. Justica Tancred, revered as one of the chapter's finest warriors, Justica Tancred was unmatched in close combat, save for brother Captain Arvin Stern, who once bested him during training. Though he could have risen to the rank of captain, Tancred chose to remain an elite soldier. Leading his Terminator squad, he fought in numerous battles, including the pursuit of the renegade Inquisitor Golik Rensar Valinov, which culminated in the mission to follow the trail of St. Evisa. Tancred, armed with the Sword of Mandulis, played a pivotal role in the fight against the chaos-corrupted fallen saint. Reciting the sacred battle prayer of a martyred Grey Knight, Tancred charged the saint and severed its hand, saving Justica Santoro. Together with Alaric and Santoro, he beheaded the fallen saint, which allowed Gargatuloth to manifest in real space once more. In the ensuing battle, Tancred was struck down by the demon prince, sacrificing himself so Alaric could banish the demon for another 1,000 years. Though the Sword of Mandulis was recovered, neither Tancred's body nor his armor was ever found, leaving some to speculate he might still exist within the warp's turbulent currents. Paladin Bellicus. As a paladin of the Grey Knights, Bellicus led his squad alongside Inquisitor Phaedus Falconet Horst in a daring mission to recover the Eye of Night from the Eye of Terror. Bellicus and his squad were wiped out while attempting to infiltrate the Pillar of Spite Fulfilled, home to a demon prince of Tzinch. In the final confrontation, the demon prince possessed Horst's body, forcing the Inquisitor to telepathically transfer his consciousness into Bellicus. Horst, now an undead entity animating Bellicus's corpse, returned to the shattered cardinal world of Savavan, where he left a psychic beacon to attract other Psyker Inquisitors. Eventually discovered by Katarina Greyfax, Horst accompanied her on a new quest to reclaim the Eye of Night. After Greyfax defeated the demon prince and destroyed Horst's original body, Bellicus's animated form crumbled to the ground, his skull cracking within his paladin Aegis armor. Within the broken skull, Greyfax found the Eye of Night, unknowingly carried by Horst during his earlier encounter with the demon prince. The Grey Knights, who have stood resolute for over 10 Terran millennia, are a chapter steeped in ancient traditions and sacred oaths, a legacy that is reflected in every aspect of their identity. From the weapons they wield to the armor they wear and the heraldry they bear, each element speaks to their proud and storied history. Grey Knight's heraldry is often displayed on the heraldic shield of their grey Aegis armor, adorned in the colours red, white and black, hues tied to the first Grand Masters who renounced their former Space Marine legions to embrace the Emperor's sacred duty. Each symbol and colour holds deep significance within the chapter. Skulls symbolise the quelling of powerful demons, while swords represent battlefield honours. The heraldry's crenellations, colour divisions and gradients denote a battle brother's rank within his brotherhood, with each design element conveying its own meaning. On rare occasions, Grey Knights may incorporate the iconography of especially worthy allies into their heraldry. In such instances, symbols like the Inquisition's insignia may be displayed, indicating a victory over a potent demonic foe with the assistance of the Holy Ordos. However, this is a rare honour, as few allies earn the respect of the Grey Knights. Sometimes a battle brother might adopt the icon of an ally who's been exterminated or mind-wiped after a battle, their legacy only surviving in the heraldic shield of the Grey Knight who fought beside them. Among the most potent symbols in Grey Knight's heraldry is the sword, which represents acts of valour, such as preserving a squad from destruction, turning the tide of battle, or slaying a hated enemy. The colour of the sword adds further depth. A white sword on red symbolises the Emperor's mercy, an act inspired by his benevolence, while a black sword on red represents the Emperor's wrath, signifying a deed of vengeance. Rarer still is the red sword on black, symbolizing the Emperor's righteous fury and the madness that faith can invoke. A battle brother bearing this emblem has been driven to the brink of duty, but emerged victorious, bloodied yet alive. The imperial aquila, revered across the Imperium, is an even more sacred symbol to the Grey Knights. Only the most distinguished heroes bear it on their heraldry, signifying a service to the Emperor so monumental that it eclipses all other deeds. Typically, only Grandmasters, Brother Captains and Paladins wear the aquila prominently, though a Justicar or Battle Brother may also be honoured if deemed worthy by the chapter's Grand Masters. The nature of the service varies, but the common thread is unwavering devotion to the Emperor. Heraldry within the Grey Knights is often layered with meaning. For example, a white sword piercing a horned skull signifies an act of mercy that resulted in the destruction of a powerful demonic entity, even at the cost of an innocent life. Such deeds define a Grey Knight's legacy, and a Battle Brother may choose not to modify his heraldry further after such an event, marking the moment he was most true to the Emperor. When a Grey Knight ventures beyond the physical realm to confront the minions of the Dark Gods, whether by treading upon demon worlds or standing beneath skies corrupted by chaos, the ordeal is often symbolized by flames in their heraldry. A skull, sword, or other marking wreathed in fire denotes that the deed was accomplished in a place where demonkind held sway. Victories within the warp are regarded as far more arduous than those in real space, and a warrior who triumphs against demons in their own domain is greatly revered. Two distinct versions of the Grey Knight's chapter colours have been recorded. In earlier depictions, the chapter's Aegis armour was shown as black, with silver gauntlets, shoulder plates and golden decorations bearing the chapter's symbol. In more recent portrayals, the Grey Knights are shown wearing steel grey or silver armour with ornate gold details, a livery that has become the accepted representation. This shift is likely due to the prevalence of black and silver schemes in other chapters, such as the Death Watch, the Ordo Xenos' Chamber Militant. Despite these variations, each Grey Knight bears personal heraldry, displayed either on their shoulder plate or on a small shield over the left shoulder. Their heraldry typically features combinations of black, white and red, with iconography dominated by swords and skulls. For Battle Brothers and Justicars, these designs often incorporate squad markings. However, Grey Knights in Terminator armour are granted the freedom to use their own heraldic designs, with one half of their shield dedicated to personal heraldry and the other to battle honour markings.